What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Sealess Film Club. Today we're going to talk about the Superman movie. Now that everyone watched it over the weekend, I'm going to be giving my spoilers for the film. It's not going to be a full review, just most of the plot twists of the film. That's what I'm going to be talking about in this segment of the video. It's not going to give you the full story, just the big plot. If you guys want to hear my full story review without giving away the spoilers, it is in the previous Superman review video in my YouTube channel. But today we're just gonna be talking about the twists and turns and the spoilers for the film. I'm gonna talk about the very first one, the one that pissed a lot of people off, and it's gonna be the actual origin of Superman's parents. So pretty much, as you remember in the film, Superman comes in, gets beat up by the Hammer of Baravia, which we'll talk a little bit about after, and then he comes in right in the beginning of the film. You can they show you that he's beaten down. He lost his first fight. Pretty much, they gave you a pretty much like a little credit roll in the beginning where it says that metahumans have been around for 300 years. Superman has shown to the world that he is Superman about 3 years ago, and he just lost his very first fight to the Hammer of Baravia. You see this in the trailers. Crypto comes, pretty much takes him to the Fortress of Solitude, and he comes in, and all the robots pretty much take him inside to get healed by the sun. When he comes in, you can hear, his parents talking over. Then you actually see his parents. His parents, of course, not a big shocker because it was actually leaked. Bradley Cooper plays Jor-El, and I forgot who the mother is. I know she's in Westworld, but I'm not sure who the actress is in the film. But pretty much every time he comes into Fortress of Solitude, he likes hearing his parents. Pretty much it has a message for him saying that he was sent here to the earth. To pretty much so everyone can look up to him and stuff like that. And then pretty much his message gets messed up on the way to Earth. And that's pretty much how they leave it. There's more to the message and it gets messed up. And the big reveal later by Lex Luthor when he comes in and with Ultraman and the engineer to pretty much mess up the Fortress of Solitude and kidnap Crypto. They pretty much go in the computer, the engineer, and they figure out the rest of the message that was sent on the ship with Kal-El. And the message is not very nice. Pretty much is saying that you were sent after the first half of the message is something that Clark Kent has believed in. He's here to to help the world out and stuff like that. But the rest of the message, once they get the rest of the message and retrieve it, the engineer retrieves it. This is the actual message. It pretty much says that he is here to rule the world. He is sent here to conquer Earth and to pretty much have babies, which I thought was pretty weird, to spread his seed around so Krypton can live on, Kryptonians can live on, and pissed a lot of people off. I liked it because it pretty much shows you that, Kal-El was sent to do one thing, but how Clark Kent is such a good person that's not who he is. That's not what he wants to do. It's not about what you are sent to do. It's what you are meant to do. What you're not meant. It's not what you are sent to the earth meant to do. Is what you want to do. He generally is a good person. He's out to save Skrulls. He's out to save people. There's even a thing where he saves a squirrel. That's what I was trying to get to earlier, and I thought that was very well done. I think they could have sat on that a little bit better, and it would have broke. They showed of Clark Kent, his heart being very broken, and is battling with that. And then a lot of people thought this could be AI. It's made up, and Mr. Terrific is like, nope. This is not AI. This is not made up. I ran through a whole bunch of tests. This is actually what it is. Everyone kind of, I don't want to say everyone turns on him, but a lot of people do turn on him. And the only person that really believes him is Lois Lane right off the bat. She knows that Clark Kent is a great person. He's a good human being and did not believe it at all, which I thought it was well done too as well. That was a really good twist. Is a little different in Origins. I think some comic books is done, but a lot of people were pissed. I'm not, to be honest, because at the end, it pays off because the end of the film, they show him going back to the Fortress of Solitude and getting recharged. And when he does get recharged at that point, instead of playing his old, birth parents' video over and over. It's his actual parents that he was raised here in on Earth, and just playing videos of him being raised by his parents, just having a good time with his parents. And I thought that was well done because that's what he's actually meant to do and who he is and how he was raised here on Earth. Let's jump into crypto, and one of the big reveals was where did crypto come from? They kind of don't give you the origin story of crypto, but it is a foster situation. Superman just kind of watching over crypto for now. He gets kidnapped by Lex Luthor, and we'll jump a little bit to more of that sequence of that. But pretty much the big reveal is at the end of the film, you hear one of, I think his number 4 robot is, "Hey, your cousin is here." And you see the big reveal. Millie Alcock as Supergirl's here to pick up Crypto. Crypto jumps all over her, and she is drunk. And they fall on the ground, and Crypto's just jumping all over her. And I thought it was very well done, where they show her being drunk. They don't explain too much. A lot of things were going through my head as this was going on. One is that Superman kind of explains to number 4 why she's drunk. She goes pretty much on. She goes to different planets where there's a red sun, and when your powers are gone, if you don't know what Kryptonians, when you're in the red sun, your powers go to basically 0, and she can get drunk, and that's the whole point of that. It's not like she's just out here partying. What her origin, and I think they're gonna go with this based off the Supergirl Women of Tomorrow comic book, is that Supergirl goes into a different planets to get drunk to pretty much cope with the pain because she actually lived in Krypton and saw Krypton perish to death. She probably saw her birth parents got pretty much burnt to death too as well. I'm not sure what they're gonna do with the story, if how they're gonna figure that out with how she, came to Earth, how she landed here, if her Crypto came on the same pod and stuff like that. I'm not 100% sure where they're gonna go with that. Also, why didn't Crypto go with her? What was she doing? Was she on a mission and then she was like, well, let me go get drunk real quick, and Crypto couldn't come? Not too sure where they're gonna go with that. Also, how did you come back to Earth to Fortress of Solitude if your powers are completely gone? How are you flying back? Well, I guess in the comic books they do show that she is using a ship to travel because in some planets there's a red sun and she cannot fly. But I thought that was pretty cool. She looked great. I think she's gonna kill it as Supergirl. I can't wait till Supergirl comes out. The director that is doing Supergirl did I, Tonya. Great part. I wish they didn't explain it that way also because there's a lot of explaining where Superman just explained to number 4 about it. And also, don't you think Superman will kind of lecture him being a little goody two shoes, like, hey, you're drinking too much? Not too sure. Another twist we're gonna go is with Lex Luthor using a hammer Baravia to set up Superman to make him look bad, and it ends up being Ultraman. Also, after the first fight, when Ultraman kind of defeats him and leaves, the hammer Baravia defeats Superman and just kind of dips out. Superman does not follow him to investigate. I thought that was completely dumb. Now that I think about it more, I thought that was very dumb. Also, when Lex Luthor is fighting Superman, he is calling out all these moves because they actually explain that he's been studying Superman for such a long time now, and he's calling all these moves, and pretty much someone is plugging all these moves, and that's how Superman fights. Ultraman fights Superman. Now that I think about it more, during the film, I thought it was pretty cool, but now I think about it, it's dumber and dumber it gets because you're saying that because his next move, that move is gonna be performed by Ultraman quicker than Superman. He's calling out the move. Someone still has to plug in that move to a keyboard. That's like extra half second that what's it called, that you are lagging on that move. Even though like Superman is that predictable. Like if you guys ever been in a fight, things go sideways at any time and moment. I thought that was pretty dumb as well. Now that I think about it more, it's still dumb to me. Also, that one of my favorite twists of the film that I thought it was perfectly done is Jimmy Olsen and Eve Tessmacher, where Eve Tessmacher is the girlfriend of Lex Luthor, and Jimmy Olsen has his little side mission where he's getting this information from somebody's called Mutant Toes on his phone, and then we have a little twist where is actually Eve Tessmacher. I can never say her name. I'm just gonna call her Eve. That is giving Jimmy Olsen his information because she loves Jimmy Olsen. She's obsessed with him. They used to date back in the day, but Jimmy Olsen just using her for information. I thought that was a great twist. And then later throughout the film, he's texting her trying to get this information. She's like, well, if you hang out with me this weekend, I'll give you the rest information. Then right when she's about to give her all the information, she gets caught, but then sends it to him. Right, the twist too of this, he's about to open the file. Things all this is it's all this information on Lex Luthor. It clicks on it, and they're just a whole bunch of selfies, and you're like, this dumb girl, of course, sends selfies to him because she knows she's kind of getting played. This is where you think she's kind of getting played, but she still wants to let Jimmy Olsen know, like, I'm obsessed with you. But later you find out that not Rachel, Lois Lane finds out, looking through the pictures, like, your hot girlfriend is pretty smart. And he goes, oh, she's hot? And she's like, look behind the pictures. All the selfies that she was taking has all these leaked information of Lex Luthor, what he's doing. There's paperwork, there's like maps and stuff like that. And I thought that was perfectly well done. No one would ever notice it. Not even Lex Luthor looking at these selfies. I think goes over her head because she just plays this dumb girl that takes selfies. That's all over social media, and she's not that dumb actually. Lex Luthor also is a piece of crap to her. And Jimmy Olsen really just kind of plays her because really wants nothing to do with her emotionally, just kind of using her for information. I thought that was greatly well done as well. Another Easter egg that I did catch, I actually kind of wrote this down too because it is kind of hard to see and stuff like that. But if you guys remember the scene when they go in the Hall of Justice with the Justice Gang, and they're talking on top of the roof, you get a split. If you pause it, you would have to pause it once you get it on digital, but I caught it. You see some old, it almost seems like the Justice Society members. So it is a couple of them. I'm gonna pull up the ones that I saw and I wrote down. You see, it's like a little mural on top. You see the Justice, I think is the Justice Society. It could be called something different, but you see Jay Garrick's the original Flash. And you also see Ted Grant's Wildcat. I think it's Ted Grant, but you see Wildcat, and then you see Alan Scott's Green Lantern. I thought it was pretty cool. Hopefully they do something with that, or they kind of explain, or or maybe they have like a series of like Justice Society back in the day. That'd be pretty cool, like a time period superhero kind of thing going on. Also, Metamorpho, how they use him was pretty cool. They pretty much kidnapped Metamorpho because there's no more kryptonite in the world. Hopefully that the big twist later in the DCU, the only person that has kryptonite is Bruce Wayne and no one knows. And he uses that because some in the comic books and actually in one of the Justice League's animated movies, he has a plan for every Justice League member just in case if they were to go rogue or bad, he can defeat them because that's how Batman is. He's always 3 steps ahead of everyone, and he has the last of the kryptonite. But he uses Metamorpho, kidnaps him, and he kidnaps his Metamorpho's son. And pretty much when he kidnap Crypto, Superman goes and turns himself in because it's told to the world that Superman is bad. The audio's leaked from his Fortress of Solitude. Of course, Lex Luthor is using that against him. So he turns himself in because that's the only way he knows he's going to be, close to Crypto, and he wants to go save Crypto. When they go in this pocket universe, pretty much there's these little pocket holes that Lex Luthor uses to travel to different places around the world, to different heads of different countries. We find out that Luthor wants to take over this piece in Middle Eastern where he wants to call it like Lutherland or something like that. Totally forgot the name of it. Sounds like Disneyland. But when they're in this pocket kind of dimension where they used to take over, we use this for prisoners. He has Metamorpho there, and he can make any substance. Of course, what does he make? Kryptonite. Makes kryptonite. They try to get Superman to they're pretty much using that crypto to get Superman to use stuff against him, pretty much to try to figure out where the parents that raised him, the reporters he worked he's always with. He doesn't know he's Clark Kent yet, but he pretty much tell him where the reporters that you're always doing these reports to, because they're on Superman's side for the most part. They're writing great stuff about Superman, which Luthor cannot have. In that point too, they also have a great part of the story where there is a civilian that I think owns I think a shawarma. I forgot what he owns. Like let's say he owns a hot dog stand. Let's just call it a hot dog stand for now. He pretty much helps Superman at one point. Lex Luthor sees that, takes that information of this guy, kidnaps this guy, plays Russian roulette with this guy with a revolver in front of Superman, and after the second shot, shoots him, and he's like, "Oh, I did not think that in the second bullet I was gonna kill this guy," and I thought that was pretty good. It just shows how evil Lex Luthor is, and Superman, did not want to give up his information of where his parents were at when at that moment. And also the bullet when there was only a second shot and killed him pretty quick. Pretty much Metamorpho feels bad after the Lex Luthor shoots that guy, and Superman tells him, "I can get your son out of here if you let go of this kryptonite. If you put this kryptonite away or whatnot, I'm powerful enough to get out of here." Then he uses this thing to create a yellow sun so he can get some of his powers back. Of course, not his full powers. They're in this full fight sequence where Ultraman Crypto escapes Metamorpho, and they're trying to save the son of Metamorpho, and they're in this like rainbow kind of river. Very all-star Superman. Ultraman's in here, and it's just like this river. I forgot the name of this like pixelated river where it goes down to this black hole. They fight Ultraman, and then there you big reveal who Ultraman is. Ultraman is it's just a clone of Superman, which we all figured that out when they showed in the trailer that Ultraman. When what's it called? That Lex Luthor just walked in the Fortress of Solitude, where we all know is DNA based to open it, and Ultraman was Clark Kent's clone, Superman's clone of Ultraman. That they were just able to walk through it. Not such a big reveal. I think the reveal could have been a lot better. There was different rumors of it being an alternate Superman from a different universe, and it wasn't. And Lex Luthor told him that he pretty much used his clone. The way to clone him, he used a DNA of his hair. I thought it was okay. Pretty cool fight scenes with Ultraman and Superman during that time. The pocket dimension fight scenes were pretty cool. Mr. Terrific had a really cool fight scene where you kind of see in the trailer him and Lois Lane they go in that pocket I'm gonna call it pocket hole to figure out where Superman's at, and it's Lois Lane and him, and he pretty has a cool fight scenes where he fights a whole bunch of soldiers with his T-sphere. Great fight scene. They go in there too as well, try to get him out or try to lure what's it with the T-sphere? They try to lure Crypto in out, and they eventually all get out and stuff like that. But that's what I was saying in the beginning. If Superman would have followed the Hammer of Arabia, he would have landed in the exact same spot. For some reason, he did it. I thought it was just a poor choice, to be honest. Then at the end, everyone figures out that Lex Luthor had this plan with all these leaked footages, pictures that were given to Eve Test Masker as well. And I thought that they did that really well. He ends up going to Belle Reve. I think it's called Belle Reve. Belle Rev. Let's see. Belle Rev. I'm positive it's Belle Reve where he goes to. And I think he's gonna play a major part in working with probably Amanda Waller, probably working with the Task Force X and stuff like that. I think he's going to be in Peacemaker as well. There's also Easter egg cameo Peacemaker. Peacemaker shows up like on this TV show, pretty much talks crap about Superman, which I thought was very, very good. Everyone in the crowd was cheering along. I thought that was great. Also, they never explain the Justice Gang, how they're sponsored by Lord Tech. They never explained any of that. I thought they could have done a better job at least in explaining something, because all we're wearing, I'm not gonna lie, the Justice Gang suits, I thought they were terrible. The Hammer of Arabia is just Ultraman. I thought that could have been a better reveal because everyone kind of figured that out. Overall, I think the film was great. I'm gonna give you guys my quick thoughts. The film was good. In terms of, it was fast paced. It got who Superman was, establishing the new DC universe. I didn't catch any of the other Easter eggs. It was fast paced. Was it a perfect movie? No. I think the cinematography could have been a lot better. They used a lot of the old Superman original score in the film. But overall, I thought the film was great. That was all I was able to catch for the film. I'm trying to think of anything else that I missed, but I think I covered at least a lot of the big major plot points. We all knew that Bradley Cooper was Jor-El. We saw that over a lot of leaks. Even basically, James Gunn confirmed it, that Bradley Cooper was in the film at some degree. He looked great as Jor-El. It's just in a lot of the Superman movies, there's famous actors playing Jor-El. Marlon Brando. What's it called? Who else was it? Kurt Russell played Jor-El as well. They just changed the origin story, so I thought it was pretty good. So overall, guys, I think I like the film. The film, I want to give it another watch. I think it's an easy film to watch, and I think it's action packed, straight out of comic book. I like that it was an origin story. They pretty much, established that superheroes have been around for 300 years. Superman has been around as Superman for 3 years. He announces himself to the world as Superman. So, guys, that was it for my spoiler review. It's quick, brief spoiler. Let me know what you guys think of the film. If there's anything that I missed, please write it down in the comments down below. I will catch you guys next time. See you guys later. Peace.